Well, good Saturday evening, friends. Mark Holmes here, and as always, I want to thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Boo Sports Report. Without you guys, this literally does not work. Hope everybody's having a great weekend. You know, it sucks that we don't have football, that the teams have literally broken until minicamp. I'm holding my breath, hoping that none of our players get in trouble, that they continue to keep working out and getting themselves stronger and getting their mind right for the marathon that is the NFL season, especially with 17 games. And it's fun. I had a great time with Bogart and Alex and Stewart. We did like a round table about fantasy football, and it's cool actually listening to a guy who's a Kansas City fan and a 49er fan and getting perspective from people outside of the NFC East. You know, we talk so much trash back and forth between all of us and things, you know, and dealing with Cowboy fans. Some of our Cowboy fans are harder on us than anybody outside. But I got to tell you, you know what? I'm going to make some enemies right now if I don't already have them. But I am sick and tired of this bullshit hype about the Washington football team. And, you know, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. But I just don't see what all these other people keep talking about. And please, somebody tell me why the hell Dan Orlovsky is allowed to speak on anything. This is the guy who said that Carson Wentz has Hall of Fame capability and can do stuff that nobody else can do. Said he can literally run circles around Dak Prescott, that, you know, Carson Wentz is great. This is the same mother humper who ran out of bounds in a tied game out the back of the end zone, gave a safety, which was the winning score. A guy who was a loser as a quarterback. But somehow, he's supposed to be an expert. So this mother humper says today that the team that is led by a 38-year-old journeyman quarterback who's played for 11 teams. Why has he played for 11 teams? Because they bring him in because they know he's not the future. Now, what's crazy is, you know, last week when I was driving to Waynesboro, they said there was going to be an open competition for quarterback. This week, Ron Rivera says, well, I could see him, you know, winning the job for a long time. Is that because you got ass as far as quarterbacks backing him up, and that's why he could win the job for a long time? Because you suck. And oh, by the way, today's holiday. How does the Washington football team no longer the Washington football team? Let me say that again. The patent office took away the patent for the Redskins, and you got sued by Native Americans for the name. So you lost that name. So you thought you were going to be slick because you didn't want to pay the dude the money to get one of the names. He was smart enough to go through and buy everything that you might want, including Washington Football Club. But you thought you guys were slick. You know what? We ain't going to pay them mother humper. We are going to be the Washington football team. There you go. Nobody's calling themselves the football team. Not so fast. Because he bought the rights to Washington Football Club. And the patent office came through on a holiday and said, you can't have a licensing agreement for that. It's too close to Washington Football Club. It'll be confusing. I dare say that the patent office actually had a sense of humor and realized that the Washington football team, really, they're not really a football team. They're really not that good. So Dan Orlowski, Mr. I'm going to run out the back of the end zone, says, I could see the Washington football team being the fastest team in football. And it's one of the top 4 teams in the NFC. With that defense, and that's where it really gets me. That's what really pisses me the F off, okay? I am sick and tired of hearing about the Washington defense like they the 85 fucking Bears. Seriously. Seriously. Though nameless wonders, and it's a wonder that they're still in the NFL. Let me talk to you about this defense. I want you to understand, they had a last place schedule, so it wasn't like they were playing the cream of the crop, okay? They weren't playing the cream of the crop on their schedule. The NFC East was ass. Now, by the way, I'm gonna give you a comparison here. Who do you think was the better team last year? Washington football team or New England Patriots? You're gonna say Washington football team. They won their division. They're really good, right? Okay. Think about this. New England was 7-9. Identical record to the Washington football team. But here's the difference. Buffalo, really good team last year. Great team. Won the division. Miami came in second. Miami took a big step. They were actually a really good team. Both of those teams are way better than anything in the NFC East, including the Washington football team. And playing in that division, you had New England, who had a tougher schedule because they won their division the year before. They played tougher competition, even in their division, and they had an identical record to a team that was a 4-place schedule with a division that sucked. So back to that defense. That defense that's supposed to be putting the scare on everybody. They gave up with that great defense, the reincarnation of the 85 Bears, 30 points to the Cardinals. 30. 34 points to the Cleveland Browns. 31 to the Ravens. 30 to the Rams. 30 to the Lions. The Lions. And in the playoffs, they gave up 31. And I'll even say, I'm going to put this one in there too. Now, against the Cowboys, of course, we didn't have Dak Prescott. Okay, we had Ben DiNucci and Andy Dalton, who got knocked the F out against you. Then there was 2 games against the New York Giants. The Giants had averaged like 19 points a game, right? That was their season average per game. Second worst offense in the NFL. And the Washington football team lost to them not once but twice, allowing Danny Dollar Store, Danny Pesos, Danny I Need a Payday Loan to score 23 and 20, higher than their points average that they had all season. They scored more points against the Washington football team than basically anybody else. So Dan Orlovsky and Mike Greenberg, all these guys are, Washington football team, they're great. They're going to win the division. They're one of the top teams in the NFC. I don't see it. We're talking about a team that can't even defend their own name. We can't even call them a football team anymore. We can't even call them a football team anymore. That's how bad they are. Now, you guys can believe, Washington fans, you can believe the hype and think that you're going to do something that nobody has done since 2003 and 2004 in the NFC East. That is, win more games and win the division. Because 7-9, bro, it's going to take more than that to win the division next year. 7-9 ain't going to do it. And nobody, and I mean nobody over the last 17 years have won the division and won more games the following year, or won back-to-back division titles. So Washington fans, feel free to drop your hate off for me. I just want to know what you gonna call yourselves. Can't call yourselves a football team anymore. Can't even call yourself a Oh, I love it. Oh, let the games begin. I'm Mark Holmes, and I hope that if you were a father that was there for your kids, that your kids take care of you. And those fathers that are out there that weren't part of their kids' life, you're the real loser because you missed out on something beautiful. I've been blessed with two of my own kids and my stepdaughter. I love them. They've been a big part of my life, and I'm glad for every minute that I've had with them. If you didn't have that dad that was there, but you had that mama, make sure you let your mama know that she took care of both roles and treat her right too. I'm Mark Holmes, and I'll see you guys, God willing, tomorrow. Be safe.